Hi everybody, so today's book summary is about The Lemonade Life by Friedman. How to fuel success, create happiness and conquer anything. So Zach says there's 5 switches. When he was at uni, they were all given a lemon and asked to split the lemon. And one of the teams came up with lemonade, making lemonade, because one of them had sugar in their pocket and they mixed it with the lemon juice and then added some sparkling water and they came up with lemonade. So the lemonade life is living a life without limitations. The lemon life being a life with limitations. So he talks about 5 switches: prism, perspective, risk, independence, self-awareness, and motion. First, changing your perspective. Without a good outlook on the world, you can still do all the self-help exercises you need, you will still be stuck. In order to change your perspective, you need to identify the self-limiting beliefs that are there holding you back right now. And they will keep you stuck in a lemon life, a life of limitations. 3 of those beliefs. 1, the external excuser. 2, the steady settler. 3, the change chaser. So you can maybe see if you can relate to any of them. The external excuser is constantly blaming external factors, criticizing everything, but not really playing. The steady settler looks successful on the outside. It's a picture of contentment, but it is not real. They're desperately unhappy. They hate their job, but they're too scared to change. The change chaser looks dynamic, constantly going for the new opportunities, chasing the next best thing, motivated by the fear of missing out, often making rushed and impulsive decisions, calling themselves entrepreneurs, but taking rushed decisions and making them often end up in hot waters, needing to borrow more, can't stand in their success because they're already going after the next best thing. These 3 characters are all very different, but they all have one thing in common. It's they embody perspectives that will keep you stuck in a lemon life, a life of limitations. Where the future looks the same as the past because you keep repeating the same mistakes. The good news is that these mindsets, they aren't fixed. Human beings are dynamic. Once you have the knowledge and motivation to make a change, you can change. You too can flip the switch and adopt a new perspective. One that equips you to lead a lemonade life. What is this new perspective? Be a daring disruptor. Like the team that turned the lemon into lemonade. Think unconventionally. Be bold, taking calculated risks. Be extremely curious and don't believe that you have all the answers. Welcome, love to learn. How do we implement that in my life, in our own life? The first step is to be really honest with yourself. The good and the bad. The best place to start practicing your perceptions is first thing in the morning. The whole point is to be non-conformist and to follow your own path. You can set the stage for your day every day, 365 days a year. When you wake up tomorrow as yourself, the question that Steve Jobs used to ask himself is, if today was the last day of my life, would I be happy? If the answer is no, you know that you have to start making a change immediately. How? No change comes without risk. Switch number 2 is risk. Perspective, P, risk, prism. It is about how to take those risks, because you can't achieve anything if you're not willing to shake things up and try something new. Paired with uncertainty, bringing up a lot of fear, especially if you've been comfortable for a while. In the life of an external excuser or a steady settler, lots of people give up on their dreams because of that fear. Raised in homes where risk is seen to be bad, that there was no way we could do it, that we should settle for the safe thing. We internalized those voices until we started believing them. Draw a small box on a piece of paper with a thick border, and then fill the box with your hopes and your dreams, your career, family, and spiritual life. It's a tiny box that represents the limits that you put on yourself when you're afraid of risk. Now erase those borders and allow your list to stream over the page. Your goal as you flip the switch of risk is to remove that box in your head, to allow yourself to dream again and to dare to take action. Tools you can practice to flip the switch of risk. You can practice the wolf pack. Who do you spend most of your time with? And how do they influence you? Do they support you? Do they fill you with energy and motivation? Or are they constantly critical, tearing you down? Maybe it's not intentional, but you realize that their energy is constantly draining yours. Who is around you matters. Kick people out of your wolf pack and choose 5 genuine wolves for your pack. The second tool is to write yourself a millionaire's check. Jim Carrey wrote a $10 million check to himself, acting for his acting services. He promised himself he would cash in by the end of 1995. And in 1995, he got a $20 million check for Cable Guy and lots of other films on his name. He draws on the power of visualization, and he showed that he would literally back himself. Promise to yourself what you know you can achieve. All great inventors embrace failure because it's the shortest path to success. Inventors know well that you cannot invent a new technology without hundreds or thousands of failed events. Jim Tyson, the billionaire inventor, went through over 5,000 failures before succeeding in making the best bagless vacuum cleaner. 15 years. But he had a vision, and he knew that every failure was taking him closer to success. If you want to flip your risk switch, practice these 3 tools. Rate your wolf pack, visualize success, and embrace failure. These switches will lead you into living a lemonade life. The next switch is independence. Prism, perspective, risk, independence. What would you say when someone asks what your dream job is. Is it linked to your salary, to your job title? I mean, compensation is important, but that's what you're stuck on. Oh, you're gonna be stuck in the lemonade life. In the lemon life. The truth is, what makes a job ideal for one person can make it totally unsuitable for another. What matters is not so much the job description, but how a job suits you. What are your needs? What are you good at? But most importantly, does it bring you fulfillment? And only you have the answer to those questions. Flip the switch of independence, allowing you to think for yourself, actively accessing what works for you. Now, not what anyone else thinks is right for you. How do you start thinking independently and find your dream job? Make a list, a work fulfillment checklist. Be as specific as possible. The first step to getting what you want is to articulate it clearly. The second list is the work toxicity list, a list of things you cannot stand in a work environment. Again, deeply personal. It can be really hard to turn down a high salary or to shut everyone else's opinion about what you should do. But remember, you are going to spend over 700,000 hours at work over the course of your entire life. What kind of environment do you want to work with? What kind of mood do you want to be in when you're coming home to your family and children? Self-awareness. Perspective, prism. Forgot the second one. Independence, risk. Independence and self-awareness. We tend to tell people what they want to hear. Imagine for a minute you could say, what are you really thinking? The next switch is seeing yourself and your challenges clearly. First strategy is to take everything personally, which is the opposite of what we're usually told to do. Not meaning being hypersensitive to criticism, but being open to negative feedback and become accountable instead of blaming someone else. Criticism, but taking it as constructive criticism. Domino Pizzas turned that around by taking on the criticism of those customers. So you kind of create your own SWOT analysis. So you strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So write down 3 key ways that you shine and excel in life. And then list 3 areas where you struggle or you fall short. And their opportunities lists. 3 areas where you can get ahead easily, and 3 challenges of roadblocks that might impede on your progress. Then ask the people that you know best as how they would answer those questions for you. Once you have completed your SWOT, you can use it as a unique roadmap for your life. When you're presented with an opportunity in life, consider if it matches your strength. Instead of obsessing over your weaknesses, just consider it as an area where you don't need to put so much attention on anymore. By playing your strength and simply skipping over your weaknesses, you can achieve so much more than trying to do everything perfectly. Repeat this powerful exercise often, at least every 3 months. Take notes of how the roadmap changes. Stay open to feedback from the people around you. Being open is a sign of strength, and it is what will flip the switch of self-awareness. The fifth and final switch, M, stands for motion. Perspective, risk, independence, self-awareness, motion. We always have a plan B. But in order to live a lemonade life, you need to give up on plan B. You need to fully commit to your dream, always staying in motion. Your purpose, your visualizations. Visualizing the journey backwards is often easier. For example, when you learn a new language. How do we learn a new language? Well, we make an action plan. The more concrete and tangible the goals, the easier it will be to succeed. Flip the switch from talking about your dream to being in motion. Remember, it won't be easy. You flip the switch to living a lemonade life. The life of learning, of discovery. It doesn't matter how long it takes. What matters is that you are on your way. By learning to turn on the 5 switches of PRISM, perspective, risk, independence, self-awareness, and motion, you will transform your life. If today was your last day on earth, would you be happy doing what it is that you are doing? Thank you for watching. Feel free to ask me any questions. And reach out if you need any help with your action plan. I'll be happy to support.